Hello everyone, this is Omni Talk Retail. I'm Chris Walton.
And I'm Ann Mazenga.
And we are coming to you live from the Manifest Future of Logistics Conference in Las Vegas. I can feel the future, Ann. I don't know about you. We want to give...
the total future or just logistics?
The future of everything, Ann. But it always starts and ends with logistics.
Wow.
And before we get started, we want to give a big shout out to our sponsor and to TGW Logistics for making our coverage here at the show possible. Revolutionize your supply chain with TGW Logistics. Their experts tailor warehouse automation solutions to your needs, ensuring you have the edge. Work with TGW before your competition does. Love that. Discover more at tgwgroup.com. All right, and kicking it off today with us is one of our sponsors, a representative from our sponsors, I should say, Blake Neal, and Blake is the Director of Business Development at TGW. Blake, welcome to Omni Talk, and thanks for being at Manifest. Can you feel the future?
I can. Still getting over the jet lag, but doing all right.
Right, yeah, because you were in the future yesterday, right?
Essentially, I guess you could look
You're
at it that way.
Right, yeah.
Not just a futurist, but a time traveler as well. Well, let's start out by just getting to know you a little bit. Give us a little bit of your background, your role, and then take us into kind of TGW and what TGW does.
So I've been in the material handling industry for about 9 years now.
Okay.
Spent years in the airport baggage handling world, and then moved into warehouse automation, which has been fun.
Really?
Yes.
Tell us more. I've not met someone in the airport baggage handling
I will tell you, I
industry.
did not lose your bag,
Okay.
if that's your next question.
Okay. And what did you do in that industry?
I did everything from pricing jobs to designing systems, and then got into sales.
Okay. Did you ever work the baggage line?
I got close a couple of times.
Okay, got it.
During some startups, there was a couple of moments, but no.
Interesting. All right,
Oh my
cool.
gosh, that's crazy. Okay, well now what are you doing at TGW?
So now I'm a director of business development, and my role is to work with new clients and existing ones to talk to them about what their plans look like in the future, and where we can help assist them with automation, whether it's robotics or lifetime services, wherever we can help.
And take us into a little bit about what TGW does, like what's under that umbrella, and what you're helping clients with and potential clients with.
So we are a manufacturer of automation equipment, and we're also an integrator. So we do everything from the design, the manufacturing, implementation, and then we have a full service package. Our team can go on site, they'll maintain the system, operate it, anything a client needs. So I think what kind of makes us special is we're an Austrian-based company, but our headquarters in the U.S. is in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yeah.
And what I like to say is we have a small company feel, but with a large company resources.
Okay.
So our team really likes to dig in and figure out what it is that a customer needs and what they're trying to attain, and that kind of gets us going.
So the tagline was really great. It said, work with us before your competition does. What is the secret sauce that you think you do better than anyone else?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think it's listen, honestly.
Okay.
So what we try to do is really understand where you are right now in your journey and where you're trying to get to, what your pain points are, and instead of just immediately starting to draw on a piece of paper what that design looks like, it's like, let's do some calculations, let's figure out what it is you need within your budget, your space constraints, whatever that is.
I imagine your startup background comes in handy there too, kind of figuring out how to get scrappy a little bit and figure out like, how do we do this? How do we test it out?
I've got to turn off the engineering brain from time to time because my job is to bring something in, not design it, even though I want to. That takes some work.
Yeah, develop business. That's your job. That's your job. I'm always surprised at how many of the companies that specialize in what TGW does come out of Austria or Germany too. It's absolutely wild.
Europe just has automation down, I have to say. Most of it came out of that area, and I won't lie, the U.S. is a little slow to adopt automation. I think we've had such a large workforce that was available. Now we're starting to see people moving into different industries, so automation is becoming key, especially with how fast things are moving with e-com and just challenges throughout the world. Automation is key at this moment.
Got it. Okay, so let's turn our attention now to this conference, Manifest. Have you been here before? And
this is our first year. We're excited.
First year here. All right. So what brings you here, and what are you excited to do while you're here?
Oh man. Really, what brought us here is we just started looking at the sponsor list and the speakers, and a lot of them aligned with the verticals that we like to tackle. Fashion's a big one, cold chain, grocery, retail. So we saw a lot of customers here that we thought we'd like to interact with. And then some of the talks seem like they're going to be very interesting. AI is always a great topic to sit down on. So that kind of brought us here. We'd never been, and it just seemed like a nice big show to get involved in.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, based on some of the topics that intrigued you about coming to Manifest, what do you think are going to kind of be topics of interest for the supply chain and logistics industry? What's going to be kind of on the top of people's priority list as they're heading into 2025?
I think what I've started to see a lot of is we're getting into the cycle where, say, 15, 20 years ago, a lot of companies invested in automation,
right,
and it's starting to age out.
Yeah,
and
we've
we're
heard
getting
that.
to the point now where it's like we need to do something. And now we're going to see these brownfield projects, not the big greenfield ones that had nice, clean, big building.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're starting to go. And I'm hoping some of the talks today might kind of help with that a little bit to understand where some customers are, where maybe the competition is.
Sure.
But I think that's where we're starting to go.
And like flexing their existing space and assets, if possible.
Right.
To
And
make
that's
something.
the hard part is how do we install a brand new system or upgrade without interrupting your current operations?
Yeah.
And so
What have you seen? Like we've heard that sweating the assets approach a lot recently. What have you seen work in the either in the apparel industry or in the grocery industry, like you mentioned before? You guys support both of those. What have you seen work? If that is the approach that a retailer wants to take.
like upgrading an existing system?
Yeah. Like, where are they focused? Like, should you be focused on the software side? Because AI is very big here.
Software
should be more focused there than on the hardware side. What do you think?
If you haven't upgraded software, I think that's the first place to really get involved in.
Good.
Because that could tell you anything from where your trucks are, where they need to be, to what's happening within your warehouse. And then the next, I think, is starting to look at your infrastructure within those four walls.
So basically, like using the software to understand what needs maintenance or whatnot, so then you know what you need to upgrade before upgrading that first and putting the cart before the horse.
Agreed. Yep.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Blake, what are some of the things that I imagine you say that because you've seen people be able to launch that, hopefully like with little interruption to their day-to-day, deploying software versus deploying new hardware. What are some of the things that some clients of yours or that you've heard from other, experiences like Manifest, what are some of the things that they've uncovered or they've been able to determine based on the data that they're collecting from those software investments?
I think a big one is from the trucking logistics side of things.
Okay.
Because we were having dinner with a consultant last night, actually, and a number of their clients were bringing in containers, dropping them off, and the trucks were just turning around and leaving, and they were empty. And that's just a lot of wasted time and money of having a truck just leave completely empty. So I think that's a place to really look into, that if you're not properly scheduling your outside logistics, that's something to really look into.
Got it. So you, as an expert in the field, think AI is particularly applicable to your scheduling operation?
I think so, and it's such a broad topic too. I think I think people need help to understand what it is they're looking at, because if you just say AI, you're like, are we talking about ChatGPT or are we talking something
100%.
else?
Yeah, 100%. Well, where do you think those? That's one, but where else do you think those opportunities are? And get specific on the types of AI too.
I won't lie.
Let you use your engineering background.
That is one area that I could say I'm still learning about.
Okay. Hence why you're at Manifest.
That is. So I don't really want to speak on that if unless I have the correct information. So
we respect that a ton, man. That's kind of our motto too. Don't talk if you don't know what you got to say.
I don't like being wrong.
Right? Yeah. Right. Exactly right. Exactly right. All right. So let's get you out of here on this. So what are you looking at, or what are you focused on as you go in? It's the beginning of the year. What are you focused on trying to accomplish in your role this year?
I think this year we're trying to be a little more strategic about the conferences that we're attending. There's a lot of potential work coming up for us that we're excited about. So I think it's going to be filled with engaging with customers, site walks, showing them projects that we've done currently or what's in the future. Just really getting engaged with new and existing customers.
Amazing.
All right, awesome.
Well, Blake, thank you for making time with all that you have going on at your very first Manifest.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to hang out with us. That's Blake Neal of TGW. Thanks to all of you who've been following us along today. We have so many more interviews coming up. Again, thanks to our partnership with TGW. And Blake, one more quick thing here. If people want to get in touch with you, they're at the conference, or they want to get in touch with you after this to get one of those tours, or to have you take your engineering brain and like help them sketch out what they should be doing, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Email's probably the best.
Okay.
So it's blake.neal@tgw-group.com.
Amazing.
I think about that one.
That's
Yeah,
perfect.
right? I know, right?
Yes. Well, thank you so much, and until the next interview.
Be careful out there.